Okay, welcome students. Thank you for attending the Healthcare Experience panel for this afternoon. My name is Megan Beltry. I'm one of the career advisors at the Career Center at Grand Valley. We're just getting our technical setup going, and we're just letting a few other students enter the event. So if you just bear with us for just a moment. And otherwise, if you would like, if you could go ahead and please use the QR code to check in. And if you just go ahead and take a photo, you'll see the directions written there on the screen. So you can take a photo with the QR code. And then you'll use your Grand Valley credentials so you can go ahead and register. So we'll give everyone a moment to go ahead and do that. Then it looks like we're probably ready to go ahead and get started. So we have some great employers here for you today. And Lisa, is there another slide that we need to be transitioning to, or are we all set?
We will be transitioning. There we go.
All right, thanks. All right, and so everyone, I know we've been Zooming for a while, so I'm sure you all are great at this, but in this case, you're welcome to keep your video off. We're going to try to spotlight the employers so you can focus on them talking. Please keep yourself muted. If you have any questions, we will be monitoring the chat, so please feel free to either you can comment in the chat or you could raise your hand and we'll answer those questions. We really want to make sure that we get those things answered for you. And this event today is being recorded. And just so you know, we have our Career Center resources that you are able to access after this event. So you're welcome to come into our drop-in services. So at Allendale and our Pew campus from 11 to 4, we have drop-in hours available. We also have virtual hours from 4 to 7, Monday through Thursday. We have our virtual, so that's our virtual career lab from 4 to 7. You can schedule an appointment with us and use our job board site through Handshake. So after today, you might be interested in applying for some of these positions. And the employers may have those positions on Handshake, which is great. And then you're welcome to join our healthcare career community. So we would encourage you to do so. So that way you can receive tailored information about our healthcare resources, jobs, events that are happening on campus. All right. And we'd like to welcome our panelists today.
I'll jump in now. I just thanks, Megan.
Go ahead and take over.
Yeah. I do want to thank our panelists that are able to join us today. We have Marissa from Full Circle Care, or Olivia's Gift, and we'll talk a little bit about what those two are. And we have Abby from the Cancer and Hematology Centers of West Michigan, and Jeff from Helix Scribe Academy. We had other panelists that we hope will still be able to join us today. And if they're unable to, we will still be able to provide you with their contact information. So if you were hoping to hear from one of the other panelists, we will still provide that at the end of the presentation. You'll have that contact information. So I guess we'll just start out how I will kind of work this today, as I'm going to be asking our panelists some questions. You're going to have an opportunity to share the information about their organization. And then after I'm done with all the questions, we'll have some Q&A time from those that are attending that want to know more specifically questions from the panelists. We'll open that up to the students, and you can either put that in the chat or you can unmute yourself. So I guess we'll start with you, Jeff, if you just want to introduce yourself and maybe give us a little bit of information about what your organization is.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thank you for this opportunity. So I'm Jeff. I'm the program director for the GVSU Scribe Academy. It's a partnership with Helix Scribe Solutions. So that's why I'm always out there also at Helix table, sometimes representing the company. But the goal really is to train up students to help doctors and providers in the community with their medical documentation. So the whole goal really is to get really shadowing experiences in the community, in the role, where you also get paid in that role. And so you're really working alongside providers throughout their shift. And as they're encountering the patients, you get the chance to kind of get into the mindset of the provider and helping them understand more about, the patient care and also the documentation of that care. So if you've not heard of a scribe, we have our website, which I did not give to you, Stephanie, I apologize, but it's gvsu.edu/scribe.
I will be adding that to the chat. So don't worry about it. I have everybody's contact information. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. All right, Marissa, same thing. If you just want to tell us a little bit about actually who you are, introduce yourself and tell us what Olivia Gifts is about.
Yeah, thank you. It's wonderful to be here with everybody tonight. My name is Marissa, like Stephanie said, and I am from Full Circle Care and Olivia's Gift. It's one entity, we're one person hiring essentially, but the way that it works is Olivia's Gift is a nonprofit in Grand Rapids here, and we have 2 homes for young adults with severe disabilities. They live there full time, and then Full Circle Care, we're the agency that's able to provide the 24-hour care to the individuals that live there. So a lot of the role that we're hiring for is for direct support professionals to get hands-on patient care hours and experience working with adults with disabilities, helping them achieve their goals and live as independently as possible.
Awesome. And we'll dig in a little bit deeper to maybe more specific on how to apply, what those jobs may look like. So we'll go to Abby. Abby, tell us a little bit about what the Cancer and Hematology Centers of West Michigan is about.
Certainly, thank you. Yeah, so my name is Abby Clayson. I am an alumni of Grand Valley, class of 2021 from the Masters of Healthcare Administration program. So I am currently the site coordinator over at Cancer and Hematology Centers of Western Michigan. We are a medical oncology group. So when you think of cancer care, you think of radiation oncology, surgical oncology, and medical oncology. So we do the chemotherapy part of it. We have 5 different locations, 1 in Holland, 1 in Muskegon, 2 in Grand Rapids, and then 1 over in our Cascade area. And yeah, I'll go into a little bit more later.
Okay, thank you. And I see Hope Network, you have joined us. We're happy to have you here. So I don't know, Tracy or Laura, which one want to answer the question? Just kind of give us an idea what Hope Network is.
I can speak for all of us. So my name is Laura, and I am a clinical and professional recruiter for Hope Network. Hope Network is an advocate for people who suffer from physical, mental, and social barriers that prevent them from living independently. We're across Michigan, and we'll dig in deeper. I personally recruit for social work, counseling, and physical therapy roles, but my team, Stephanie and Tracy, recruit for different roles that they will talk about.
Okay, great. So you have 3. Sorry, I missed you, Stephanie, there. And then we have Holland Hospital is here. We have Sherry, and who else do we have from Holland Hospital? Just Sherry?
Sorry, we've got Sherry and Liz Cambier and myself,
Liz.
Taylor.
All right. So again, we just kind of want to know a little bit about what's Holland Hospital and give us a little bit of background. Oops, you're still muted, or I don't know, I can't hear you.
Sherry, we heard you just a minute ago, but I think now we're having some technical issues. We did hear you, but now we don't.
Yeah.
Sure if there's a mic issue at all.
I don't know if Cheryl or Liz, you could hop in, tell us just a little bit, basically what the Holland, or where, I mean, we know it's known, we know your hospital, but just kind of what you're recruiting for.
Yeah, I can jump in. So Holland Hospital, we're an independent nonprofit hospital. I believe we're 1 out of 7 in the state of Michigan that is still independent. We have been in business for just over 100 years. We employ about 2,100 employees and have about 180, 190 patient beds here. Full service hospital, we are hiring from nursing, PCAs. We do have physical therapists, occupational therapists, so a wide range of opportunities.
Okay, great. And then I'm not seeing Mercy Health. Make sure I'm not missing you, Molly, Mercy Health. No, okay. All right, so we're going to transition into our second question now that we've got a little bit of chance to hear from all of you. We'll start with Jeff again. And Jeff, if you want to let us know kind of what opportunities do you have at your site? I know we're talking a little bit about the med scribes, but kind of tell us a little bit about maybe what's involved with that process. What is a med scribe? A little bit more detail.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. As I had in my introduction, the medical scribe is really working with providers and helping their day go more smoothly. Burnout is pretty heavy among providers. And this program really started working with the emergency medicine doctors at Spectrum Health. And that was back in 2015. and the team grew quite a bit, and then it started to slow down because of the pandemic. But we're now coming back, we're rebounding. There's a lot of demand from providers in the community, not just in the emergency department, but also in the medical offices. So we're actually expanding in pain management, orthopedics, Mary Free Bed included, and others. Even primary care, there's a remote office if you ever want to scribe in a remote setting or at home, for example. So a lot of opportunities, different settings. A lot of it depends also on the student's availability in terms of when you can work, those shifts as available. But lots of opportunities. This is the first time in history we've not had a wait list to get into our program. So I'm really excited to work with students going forward.
Okay, and normally there has been that wait list. So students, this is a really great time to go through that training. So can you just talk a little bit about, they are trained, correct? And then are they guaranteed a position after training, or how does that transition go?
Yes, yeah, thank you. So the training program really begins with just really learning more about medical terminology and more, not just the memorization of it, but also the application, because you're going to be writing, communicating med terms as being part of the team at a very high level, at the way the doctors are documenting patient charts, right? And so it's really a 6 to 8 week program where you're going through not just theory training, but also clinical training, working alongside the Helix scribes on site where you'll be working and learning more about the clinical practice and flow to help the team be more efficient. So you do start those job shadowing hours, patient contact hours, if you can count them for that, in clinical training as well.
Okay, thank you. And again, I may have some more questions down the road, but I think that hits about all. So we'll just transition to Marissa, if you want to tell us a little bit about what opportunities, including, is there any opportunities for shadowing, volunteering, paid positions at Olivia's Gift?
Yeah, definitely. So a little bit of background about how he came to be and how this all works. So Olivia's Gift is founded in honor of Olivia, and Olivia still lives here, actually. She suffered a near drowning when she was 3, and that forever changed their life. Her and her family were moving forward with, her sister's plans, who was younger than her, and looking at her going off to college, like all of you guys, and experiencing that part of her life. And they really thought, well, what's Liv's purpose, and what is she going to bring here? What can she contribute to the world? And they designed this concept of Olivia's Gift, where someone like Olivia, who was like 20 at the time, could live independently and receive the 24-hour care that she needs. So the alternative for someone like Olivia is a nursing home, and there's not a lot of dignity there for a 20-year-old. So they designed this concept where the families could still be super involved. The individuals could live with their peers, and then the critical care that has to happen to help them throughout the day could be provided in their home. And so that's where the staff come in, and that's what we're hiring for today. So we're looking for college students specifically to join our family here to provide 24-hour care for these individuals. So what that care and what that looks like is a variety of things. There's the friendship aspect, the family aspect, of course, that's what draws us all in, right? But the reason everybody's here today is for experience, right? So we have individuals with very high medical needs, and being the setting that we are, we're very fortunate to be able to allow the staff to perform all of those critical care needs for the individuals. So things like trach care, ostomy care, G tubes, J tubes, working with that type of equipment, passing medication, working with Hoyer lifts, all of those things that you really want to get your hands on and get practice and experience with before going on to your professional, careers. So staff do all of that in-house, and we train on all of that as well. So we don't require anybody to have any experience. You don't have to be a CNA or have a PCA or anything like that. We do all of the training, and typically what we're looking for are staff that want to work and use their experience for patient care hour experience. We've partnered with different departments to do internship credit in the past if it works for that individual in the program. And when it comes to opportunities for like virtual or volunteer opportunities, those are a little fewer because of COVID and whatnot. But also, if you're looking for that hands-on experience, applying and working as an employee is really the way to do it.
Yeah, and side note that myself and Megan and Lisa, who are on this call, we did a site visit to Olivia's house last week, and we were blown away with your facility and how beautiful it was and how organized. It was just mind blowing. And we walked away just feeling so privileged to have seen the facility and really want to encourage students to check that out because it is a very unique opportunity. So thank you for being here and for the work that you do.
Thank you. It was wonderful to have you guys there, especially to be able to show the experience. You know, I said we're hiring students, and we talked about that last week, Stephanie. Why? And that the big reason is because students bring this life, this energy, and this compassion for caring for individuals that you can't find anywhere else. It's a special niche that you students offer and that you bring, and we've seen the benefits and the impacts that it has on those that we serve.
Yeah, and I want to thank all my panelists too at this point for being here, because I know you are all offering such incredible opportunities for students to get those experiences and to maybe even grow within your organization as they progress through their professional careers as well. So Hope Network, since there's a couple of you there, I'll just throw that question out to you, whoever wants to take it. So, because you guys have a great, really unique facility and opportunity as well. So what are some things that students may get a chance to either work or volunteer or shadow? What are those opportunities?
So I'll go ahead and get started with that question. So Hope Network is really unique because we have several different affiliates. So different affiliates are supporting different populations. I know Tracy and Laura support our neuro rehab affiliate. Laura and myself, we support our behavioral health services. We also have autism and addiction recovery services. So myself, I specifically recruit for our nursing openings across the board, our behavioral health services, as well as a few other clinical type roles such as occupational therapists, speech language pathologists. Laura does a lot of our social work, therapist, those case manager, clinician type roles here too. Tracy, I'm going to kind of dip it over to you, and you can talk about our direct care opportunities, which is a great way for students to get their foot in the door at Hope Network, get that hands-on experience, while you're earning your degree, and then we can really push you towards like a clinical path. So Tracy, do you want to discuss our direct care opportunities?
Absolutely, yes. So we have a handful, so specifically in the neuro rehab department, we have a handful of adult foster care homes housing individuals who have suffered a brain or spinal cord injury and just need some extra help with their daily living. And in that setting, you get to work right alongside some physical therapists, some occupational therapists, nurses, a lot of, higher level professionals. So you get to, just see a lot of different situations. And it's really cool because we have we do have some residents who, stay with us for a long time, but then we also have a lot of people who come in, right after their accident, and we get to watch them transition from day one, just leaving the hospital to, being able to see them go home. So we just have a wide range of different, different situations that we get to witness.
Yeah, same thing. Do students have to come in with any medical background or training, or how does that training piece, if you hire somebody on, what does that look like?
Absolutely. Yeah, no, there's no medical experience needed. We do provide, I believe it's about 6 weeks of training, a lot of different pieces that you would learn through our training, just through our training structure. But no, there's no experience necessary for this position.
Okay. And then you do have sites that are on the east side of the state as well. Is there any chance a student could ever work in two different, if they're in the school year, they're in the West Michigan area, maybe they're home in the summer, is there any possibility that a student could maybe be in multiple locations?
Absolutely. We have a lot of different students. I was just on the phone with someone who who's in Grand Rapids right now, and they're looking to transfer to East Lansing in the summer. And so it's very doable. We have different, specifically within the neuro rehab department, we have a location here in Grand Rapids. And that's right by Calvin College on East Beltline. And then we also have campuses in East Lansing as well as Kalamazoo.
Okay. And last question. Is there an opportunity, if they're not quite ready to maybe commit to a position there, that they could shadow and I know COVID has restricted a lot of those shadowing and volunteering, but is there any opportunities to either shadow or volunteer?
At this moment, not to my knowledge.
Okay.
If Laura or Stephanie are aware of any others, not in the direct care department at least, but I do know that in some of our other positions, we do have some like internships and some job shadowing available.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah,
All
clinical
right.
internships are available. Oh, I'm sorry.
go
Clinical
ahead.
internships are available, and we are offering job shadowing opportunities for more clinical-based positions at this time. So.
Okay. And again, at the end, we'll put everybody's contact in there, follow up with students who have attended this with this information so they can reach back out. All right, Abby, if you want to just tell us a little bit about what opportunities may be available at the Cancer and Hematology Centers.
Yeah, thank you. So similar to my fellow panelists, we have a lot of different opportunities open that don't require any healthcare experience at all. I think we offer a unique experience in both administration and clinical positions. So if you're looking to get into the scheduling or the registration part of it, we offer those as well as some of our medical assistant and patient care technician roles. And those really give you the opportunity to work alongside our providers, both our oncology and hematology providers, as well as our oncology nurses. We also are fully equipped with a lab in each of our clinics, as well as a pharmacy, both retail and chemotherapy pharmacy. And then we also do have a research department. So there are opportunities, both paid and unpaid internships, as well as part-time and full-time positions in each of those departments. I think it's really great here because we do not have nights, weekends, holidays, we're closed. So I think that gives students a lot of time to balance, their schoolwork and their classwork with actual work and just gaining that experience. So we do offer training on the job. We don't require any of that training. And yeah, more later.
Yeah, that's great. And I'm just wondering, so for some of the administrative type of jobs, I'm assuming you'll look at even new grads, maybe that I'm thinking of some majors that maybe they don't go on for, like they were maybe thought pre-PA or pre-something and they're not able to get in. Is that something that could be a fit for them if they still want to work in healthcare, but that non-clinical side? Do they need a degree specifically for that, or is that something that they can come in and get trained as well?
No, actually, it's a great experience, especially if you're taking a gap year, just learning how clinics flow. I think sitting up at the scheduling desk or the registration desk, sitting back in the administrative part really gives you an idea of how the clinic flows. And it also is a great career opportunity as well. Yeah.
All right, thank you. And then Holland Hospital, what opportunities specifically are you guys hiring for, or what opportunities maybe even for volunteering that you may have, or those entry-level patient contact positions?
Yeah, so for students, ideally in healthcare, we have our patient care assistant position, and similar to the other folks here, we do on-the-job training. And we have a lot of flexibility with those positions to have the students work throughout the school year. So they're able to train full-time throughout the summer and then drop down to that part-time schedule that will work with their school class schedule throughout the school year there. I would say that's the same for like our phlebotomist positions as well. We can bring in students and do on-the-job training. We also have volunteer opportunities. So if their schedules are pretty tight, if they already have other job opportunities, but they still want to get an experience here within healthcare, we have a lot of volunteer opportunities that they could come in that could work around their availability for that too. And we do offer job shadows. So if a student is interested in shadowing in a particular area, we can arrange for that as well.
All right, wonderful. I think in light of time here, we're already on the half-hour mark, and I want to just put out one more last question, and I would like to open it up so students may have more specific questions they'd like to address. So Jeff, I'm just going to start out with you then, and can you tell me maybe what the next steps are if a student is interested in learning or applying to your position there? Tell us those steps. They go online, and then maybe what can they expect the timeline of that whole process from when they apply?
Yeah, absolutely. So I mentioned earlier our website, which is gvsu.edu/scribe That's a great place to get more information about our program. We have some videos on there about how it can help you. We have providers that talk about how scribing helped them get into their programs and their professional development. So lots of resources there, but also on our website, there's also the ability to apply online, and which comes direct to me. And then I will process that. And usually within a day or two, I'll reach out to you with an invitation for a virtual interview, more of an informational meeting to talk more about the training program and how that might align, with your goals and what you want to achieve as well. So we'll definitely work the best we can with your schedule and see which clinical site, what environment would be best suited, to optimize those clinical hours for you.
Thank you. All right, Marissa, if you'd like to kind of let us know what are those next steps?
Definitely. So the next step's very similar. You can go to our website, and there's an application on our website as well. I believe they're sending the websites out. It's fullcirclecare-mi.com. The application does come directly to me as well. The unique part of this, and similar to what he said, is I think we're the ones here recruiting, and we're the ones here that will be chatting and talking through this with you students. So if you have questions, I think the best thing to do is to shoot an email, request a phone call, and a meeting, whatever it may be. It's clear that there's a lot of eager employers here looking for awesome college students to join their team. So yeah, email, text, phone calls, whatever, anyway, is fine with us.
Yeah, and this is what I love about this panel, is that students get to see who they actually would be sending potentially their application to, and put a little note in there, even if you're doing a cover letter, let these employers know that you saw them at this panel, so they can know how that, and I think that helps them know how they attract students too, but it also just puts, they know you, they met you already virtually. So
yeah, absolutely. Right. And I will say this is such a unique experience, being able to talk with a lot of different employers at the same time. So if students have questions about their requirements, things like that, hours, if you don't know if your schedule will work, reach out to all of the employers to figure that out before you hesitate applying at all.
Yeah, thank you. Abby, what's the next steps for you?
Yeah, so we have our website, chcwm.com. We've got a careers page on there. Otherwise, my colleague Jaden and I will be at the GVSU job fair later this week, March 17th, in Kirkhoff.
Nice.
And then also my email is attached there in the chat. If you're interested or have any questions, I'm happy to answer those, and you can send your resume directly to me. So
thank you so much for being here, and thank you for the plug for this Thursday for the summer internship or summer job, and I think maybe internship fair as well. So thank you. Holland Hospital, what's the next steps for you guys?
Are you able to hear me this time?
Yes.
Okay, very good. Sorry about that. So next steps truly are to look on our website at hollandhospital.org. There is a job postings tab. We would love to see all of y'all apply for PCA positions. There's phlebotomy positions, different areas of the organization to kind of dig your feet in and get interest and experience in. We have lots of flexible hour positions, so that not only is it a summer opportunity, but an opportunity through the school year to have flexible positions that help you to be both successful at school and at work. We consider all of these positions to be really long-term interviews. So as you're working in the position, you are building up your knowledge base, you're building up your experience, and you're building up your connections for positions after you graduate. So yeah, go to our website, talk with Cheryl Taylor in recruiting, or Liz or myself, get connected. We'd love to have you.
Thank you. And then just to clarify, the PCA, because some students may not be aware what that is, that's a patient care associate, assistant, patient assistant.
Patient care assistant. And
just to, go ahead.
Sure, sorry. So that position does not require any prior training necessarily. You do not need to have your your CNA license, that kind of thing. We do on-the-job training for that position. So we're ready to take people and get you onboarded and get you enculturated at Holland Hospital.
Awesome. And then just for clarification, that was true for the phlebotomy position. They don't need necessarily a phlebotomy certification, that you would train them for that as well?
I believe. I'll let
Yes.
Cheryl answer that one.
Potentially.
Yeah, that is correct. They'll do on-the-job training for the phlebotomist position.
Okay, thank you. And then Hope Network, that would be our last one. How do they go about connecting with you guys for the next steps?
If you're looking for employment opportunities, you can apply to hopenetwork.org/careers, which I have just put on there. If you're looking for internship opportunities, job shadows for nursing, you'll contact Stephanie. Social work, you would contact me, Laura, and for rehab technicians, you would contact Tracy. I will also make sure all of our emails are in the chat.
All right. And I know sometimes the timeline can feel a little black hole-ish for our students. They apply and then they sit and they wait and they wonder, is there any recommendations from any of you on the panel on kind of that process? If they've applied and they don't hear anything, should they reach back out after a couple of weeks, or kind of give me an idea? And whoever wants to take or answer this one, feel free to, and maybe there's a couple of you, but kind of help us understand that process and that timeline from when somebody applies to maybe when they hear back.
I could take that if you want. At least from Hope Network standpoint, currently things do move fairly fast. And that seems to be, from what I understand, like kind of blanketing the whole career market at the moment. So what I would say is that if you haven't heard anything by within a week, and that's like at most, I would definitely be reaching out to, whoever your contact is. And again, that's at the most.
Okay.
If it's been if you submitted your application 3 days ago and you haven't heard anything, I would definitely be reaching out.
Okay. The market has definitely changed. I know sometimes it feels like 4 weeks go by and you still haven't heard anything. So I appreciate you letting us know how, we know that there's a need out here, and we know you guys need to get a lot of these positions filled. So thank you again for being here and helping us understand that process. I guess at this point, I'd like to open up Lisa. I don't know if you want to help me kind of facilitate the chat, or if people want to specific questions.
Definitely. I haven't seen
Okay.
anything in there, so feel free at this time to ask any questions in the chat, and I will go ahead and read those out to the panelists that are here today.
Okay. Give them a couple minutes here, a couple seconds here.
Stephanie, while we wait for questions to come in, do you mind if I share about the house sister opportunity?
You definitely can share. Anybody that has any other details or things they want to share that we didn't hit on, feel free to. So yeah, Marissa, if you want to tell us a little bit more.
So I guess in addition to employment opportunities, we also have a live-in free rent, free housing opportunity available. So our second home, Olivia's Gift 2, when we purchased it, it was an existing home that we made accessible. And it includes kind of like a nice upstairs apartment area. And so we have 2 bedrooms that we have what we call house sisters that are college students that can live there rent-free. Utilities and cleaning supplies and all of that is paid for. And the opportunity is just you live there rent-free, and in return, out of the 2 individuals there, one of them is on call throughout the night in the event of an emergency to have an extra set of hands. That position doesn't require you to be awake or be doing anything other than sleeping or doing whatever you want to do between 11 p.m. and 6 a.m. So that's another opportunity, same way to get a hold of us to inquire about that.
Okay, so no necessarily patient contact. It's really just kind of being in that home, making sure it's a safe environment.
Yeah, and students can have as much involvement as they want with that. So if you want to come downstairs and be a part of the family and be involved with the residents outside of your normal working schedule, totally fine. Some people will work for us while they live there, so it's kind of a combination. So both are
That
available.
saves on the gas.
Yes,
Gas money. Definitely, it's killing us. All right, do you see a chat question coming in?
I do have a question,
Okay.
but before I go to that question, Marissa, could you share the location of that house?
Yeah, so that location is on Forest Hill Avenue. It is, let's see, it's like off Cascade Road.
Okay, perfect.
Area,
And
off
then
Forest Hill, off Cascade, kind of that junction.
awesome. And then there is a question. This one is for Abby. For the farm tech roles, do individuals need prior experience working in a pharmacy?
Yeah, thank you, Alexis. So it does require a farm tech license. But like I said earlier, we do have internships and like shadowing opportunities within our pharmacies. So it might be a good way to work your way into that pharmacy tech role.
Excellent, thank you. Another question, this one is for Jeff. If I live on the east side and going home during the summer, will that be a problem if I would like to get involved with the Helix Scribe Academy?
Oh, that's a great question. I get that a lot. They recently updated their policy where if you were going home, you can get a leave of absence, which then you can pick up your scribe hours when you return in the fall. At this point, the training program, we would recommend maybe a later summer training because we really want the training to go right into the employment so that your learning and your process flow is a smooth transition. But that's what I would recommend if this is something you want to do. If you start in the fall, you can either start in July or August, the online asynchronous training part to kind of segue right into the next semester.
Excellent, thank you. I don't see any other questions coming in, so we'll give everybody. Oh, here's one for Hope Network.
I'm gonna jump in real quick. I just want to know, because Jeff mentioned something about the asynchronous training. Do other organizations have training where they're doing that onboarding or online virtually, that a student can do that prior to starting? So the training maybe doesn't have to be right away on site. Nope. Okay, just thought I'd ask. All right, Lisa, we have another question.
We sure do. This one is for Hope Network. I heard that SLP opportunities, and I was wondering if I could get some more information on what kind of involvement there is for that field.
Yes, thank you so much, Abby, for asking that. So we do have speech language pathologists on our staff. We do hire those for our behavioral health services, who I believe will work mostly with our children's residential programs. We also have speech language pathology with our autism services, our centers for autism. And then we do, I believe, Laura, you can correct me if I'm wrong, I believe our neuro rehab also has a speech language pathologist on staff too, to assist those consumers there. I'm not sure if you're aware of that or not, but I'm fairly certain we do have SLPs in neuro. Cool.
We do.
Yes. So I hope that answers the question. Feel free to, if there's any other questions, feel free to shoot me a message or anything. I'm happy to help answer that.
Thank you. I have one more for Abby. This question is, would now be an appropriate time to reach out to you if I would be looking to fill a position not until August? So timing of when would be appropriate to reach out.
Sure, yeah. I mean, depending on what opportunity you're looking for, we can work something out, and we're fairly flexible. So yeah, send me a message.
How do others on the panel feel about that? Students kind of planning ahead. And I know when an open position is posted, sometimes we need to fill that quickly, but how do you feel about students making those connections early with you, just to, so they, you are aware, I guess, do they reach out back again to when they're getting ready to graduate? How does that work in your mind? How do you like that?
I mean, for me, I love it. So for me, it kind of helps spend a minute to save a minute in the long haul, especially when I like to kind of put together my candidate hot list. So I'm already knowing when they're graduating. So that way I have that reminder of like, I need to get in touch with you, and also seeing if there's a role that's already open by the time they graduate, that would be a really good fit for them, for that role where they could just kind of step right in, especially since I've already done the screening process with them. It helps them secure a role a lot quicker.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think there's no harm in reaching out ahead of time in preparation, especially if, like what they were saying from Scribe, if the timing just doesn't match up with training when you're not going to be around, or with your class schedules or whatever. Planning ahead is definitely there. I guess you mentioned when people graduate, and I didn't really touch on the point that we are looking for students of all levels, mostly in their undergrad. Okay. I don't know if everyone else is in the same boat there.
Yeah, if I could just briefly, regardless of what kind of opportunity you're looking for, I know this is the time students are looking at your schedules for the next fall. And if you're really interested in gaining those clinical experiences, looking at your class schedule and trying to, group your classes together so you have quality time, at a certain location is a really great way to look at it. I know Mike is on here too, so maybe you could correct me if I'm wrong on that, but just something to think about with your planning going forward.
Really, for us at the hospital, for most of the positions, The summer is a busy time of orienting staff. We love to get you in and get you oriented over the summer. For nursing positions, for PCA positions, that kind of thing, onboarding can be 6 to 8 weeks. So it's a perfect time to have a block of time to kind of devote to learning the organization, and then being able to drop to part-time when classes start back up. So as early as now to put your interest in on positions, most of us review those and kind of, as Marissa was saying, kind of, and Laura, kind of planning ahead to make sure that the positions that we have open are filled and the right people are in the right positions. We absolutely look at a cultural fit. So if you're the right cultural fit for the position, and we hire ahead of graduation time to get you on the docket to start with orientation.
Great, great. It sounds like that's the most, is that the training is going to take a little bit more of that concentrated amount of time and effort. And then after that, it sounds like most of the employers, you can be more flexible once a student, if they're still enrolled in classes, some flexibility there with the scheduling for their work schedule. So thank you for providing that, Sherry. Any other questions we have, Lisa, coming across?
I'm
Stephanie, I was gonna
scrolling
say,
through. Go ahead.
Molly from Mercy is here.
That's exactly what I was just
A
going to say
moment.
as well.
I'm sorry, did we miss? I'm not
She
sure.
would just,
No, yeah, I apologize. I popped on a few late, so I just joined, so I apologize for that. But
Well, welcome. We're happy.
yeah,
So then you've got the spotlight here. I'm just going to ask you a couple questions.
Sure.
It's just basically, if you want to just tell the students who you are, who you represent, and then maybe what opportunities you have at Mercy.
yeah. So my name's Molly Caseman. I'm a talent acquisition partner at Mercy Health. So particularly for me, I hire for St. Mary's Hospital, but we also have our Muskegon Hospital, and then over 200 different facility offices, specialty offices in the West Michigan side. But we have a variety of positions. I recruit for our nursing support positions. So typically that is our PCAs, patient care assistants, health unit coordinators, and then our new grad RN residents as well. But we do have a variety of positions available at both of our locations and hospitals.
Okay, and then training, do they have to, I'm sure different positions require different certifications, but are your PCAs, do they need any background in healthcare?
Yeah, so we have a new program that we actually just started in January that we are so excited about. We're actually be starting our third cohort PCA trainee program. So previously we had a requirement that was 6 months of experience working as a PCA or a CNA license. We now have our very own PCA trainee program where we train on the PCA program. So activities of daily living, vitals, AM, PM cares, blood pressure, glucose checks, everything that the PCA does. We have our professional development specialist team that does a 2-week training. The training is typically part-time. So Monday through Friday is when we do our training hours. It's 2 days 1 week, 3 days the next week, but we are super flexible with hiring into the PCA role. We actually just got approval recently where we can hire as little as 12 hours per week into the PCA trainee program. And we can hire summer only positions. So a lot of flexibility with students, which has been a big ask. And I'm so happy that and excited to share with you guys that Mercy has responded to that call, and we have ample flexibility with lots of our departments. So.
Wonderful. And then what is the process for them to enroll in that, or to, I guess, apply to those positions?
Yeah, so you'll want to apply, speak to me. You can either email me or apply on our career site. And then together we will do a screen and just kind of talk about the PCA program in a little bit more depth and kind of start the interviewing process from there. So feel free to submit your application. I'm more than happy to speak to everyone here.
All right, one more question, Molly. Is there a time commitment then? If they go through that training, do they have an expectation of a amount of time that they have to commit to then work in that in your organization?
So not anymore. Like I said, we will do summer only positions for this training program. There really is no commitment with it. The minimum amount of hours for this specific PCA program is 12 per week. So we are looking for at least 1 day a week, but other than that, no time commitment.
Okay, great. All right, I will leave it open again if any of the students would have any more questions for our panelists.
We do have one. This is to all the panelists. Do you have any internship shadowing opportunities available that are related to nutrition and dietetics?
Good question. Doesn't sound like it. An area that we need to dig into, I think. So thanks for bringing that question up.
For the student who did ask, if you come to the Career Center, we can help you to find some of those experiences if you didn't get connected to any of those today.
Thanks, Megan. All right, anything else from our students or our panelists would like to share? Any lasting comments? Really, we're open to anything, any feedback on even how COVID has impacted your, your whole process of hiring, anything that you feel like would be helpful for our students to hear from you panelists.
I'd say probably the greatest impact is, especially in the social work world, a lot of my candidates, I'm losing candidates faster than I'm interviewing them because they have so many offers to choose from. It's a very candidate driven market. So that's why, like, as for Hope Network, we move quickly and make sure that there isn't a whole lot of leeway in between, so that way people aren't waiting going, when am I getting this offer, or am I getting an offer, because there's probably 5 other companies that are after them as well.
It is crazy. So thank you for sharing that with us as well. Any other?
I would just like to encourage everyone to reach out if you are curious about, getting your feet wet in employment while you're in school. I personally have been with this agency for 8 years, and I started as a direct care worker right after I graduated from college. And so I'm, I've got a personal stake in it, but the other part of it is that, we really want students to succeed. Obviously, all of the panelists here do. And so, we've really designed how we're hiring and how we're training and how we're scheduling around students and college students. And I'm sure all of the other panelists hear it too from their past employees, but the experience that you can get working in any of these fields prior to stepping foot, in an office as a professional is so invaluable. So I just really encourage everybody to reach out and, start applying, get some experience.
Thank you, Marissa. Yeah, and even if you're unable to do one of these positions or work at one of these organizations, I do really hugely believe that networking is so important. So reach out to our panelists, get to at least use LinkedIn if they're, look at the names that are on the screen, reach out, connect with them on the social media sites. That will help you just build that network. So when you do, graduate, think of them. You never know where you may be living, what your situation may be. And right now you've got an opportunity to have people from a lot of different touch points in healthcare to network with. All right. Any other questions before we shut it down? And thank you all again, panelists, for being here. I hope we can help feed your candidate pool and get you some hires. And I hope students, we can provide those opportunities for you to get those really important experiences for you either to test out a field or to build your network or to start your first career in healthcare hands-on experience.
Yeah, there are no more questions.
All right. And again, we will follow up. This is a recorded presentation and we'll have that available along with the contact information from our panelists. So thank you all for being here today.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.